TheWeeklyStandard.com reports that in the past 5 years, the United States has spent $3.7 trillion on welfare programs. This amount is more than 5 times the combined amount of that spent on NASA, education, and federal transportation programs in that 5-year period. And the $3.7 trillion isn't even the whole amount because the states contribute $200 billion to welfare. Spectator.org reports that 48 million Americans, or 1 in 6, receives food stamps. And Michael Tanner from the Cato Institute reports that in 2012, the nearly $1 trillion spent on welfare amounted to $20,610 for every poor person, or $61,830 for every poor family of 3. And as he said, with spending like that, no one should still be poor. America is over $17 trillion in debt, and the welfare system is just one piece that needs reformation. Today we will see that substance abusing welfare recipients not only harm their own children, but their own possibilities and opportunities for employment. And for these reasons, welfare recipients should have to pass a drug test before receiving benefits. So based on key research findings by experts for the Substance Abuse Policy Research Program, or SAPRP, welfare recipient women are more likely than non-welfare recipients to abuse substances. This research found that 84% of women with substance abuse problems that were receiving benefits were involved at some point with child protection services. 84%. And that 38% were still involved with them. This research found that children of substance abusing women that were receiving benefits appear at a grave risk for adverse outcomes. And this is due to the high rate of the CPS involvement, to domestic violence, and also a lack of family cohesion. And the adolescent children of substance abusers were engaged in significantly more high-risk behaviors than those of the non-affected groups. So these rates are looking at all people, women, receiving welfare benefits, and how those that are abusing substances are even at higher risk for their families. And unfortunately, for all welfare recipients, there are barriers between themselves and employment. This research by the SAPRP also showed that domestic violence and other family conflicts, child care, transportation, mental health problems, and other chronic potential barriers were even more intertwined with substance abuse. Substance abusing women on benefits exhibit an average of 6 barriers, with the 7th being the substance abuse, compared to 4 barriers of those not abusing substances. So special attention needs to be directed at welfare recipients with substance abuse because they have even more barriers, excluding the substance abuse as a barrier, than those other welfare recipients to gaining employment and to moving themselves from the welfare program to the workforce. Almost all people agree that we want to be a nation that takes care of our needy and less fortunate. However, we should not be a nation that taxes hardworking people to foot the bill for the drug habits of those who are not working. Kimberly Yee on USA Today points out that most private sector employers require a drug test for employment. This is a way of establishing accountability between the employee and the employer. And it has one grave consequence. If you can't pass the drug test, you don't get a job. Substance abuse is a huge barrier between the unemployed and what they need to work towards employment. Welfare was designed as a temporary fix, a way to help people get on their feet and get employment. And this substance abuse stops that from happening. So for these reasons, welfare recipients should be required to pass a drug test before they receive benefits.